Hi guys, quick one today. A small cut-off hardie out of a bit of leaf spring for the rail track anvil that I made. I was going to do it out of Farrier's rasp, surprise surprise, but I came across this lying on the floor, so I thought I'd do it out of this for a change. I'm just going to use my bit of angle to start it off in the ball peen. Don't have to do it this way, but it just makes life easier. And fold it in on itself, making sure you do both sides evenly, otherwise you'll end up with it off centre. It's pretty tough, this stuff, so it takes a bit of hammering. And that's from the first heat. Get rid of that, we don't need that anymore. Right, now I need to make this down to about 16mm, 5/8. So I'm going to give it a bit of a hammering square, like I've done in many of my other projects. Start off square. Again, I like to work my material hot, and especially as this stuff is pretty hard. I'm going to use this. I found this under the bench and managed to get it working, although it's stuck now. It's I made it years ago, and as you can see across the middle it's broken a few times, but it's quite handy when you're working on your own. It used to be just completely flat. I used to use it as a flatter, but I decided to put a groove in it and use it for this sort of job. It's not ideal, but it does the job. It's a little bit quicker than doing it by hand over the edge of the anvil, and it keeps the shoulder, the neck, pretty square. So I'm just going to give it another go. Doing it almost at the right size. I think I should have put a bit of oil in there, it's getting caught up. And keep moving it round if you can, otherwise you'll get sort of like a seam down where it doesn't quite sit in the hole. It's still not come up particularly well, so I still have to give it a bit of a tickle up by hand, so that can go. Probably would have been just as quick to have done it by hand over the edge of the anvil, but there you go. Now I'm just going to tidy it up a bit. It's almost the right size. Just trying to keep the shoulder square. Now we'll actually keep the blade square. Again, working up by the neck. Now this is my first schoolboy error for a while. Hitting a hammer, hard hammer onto a hard bit of, taking a chip out of my hammer to a hard bit of spring steel. So that was a bit of a no-no. So this time, I'll do what I should have done in the first place. Use my copper hammer. Just try and square the shoulder up a bit more. Doesn't have to be square, or it doesn't have to be forged square. You can always file it or grind it afterwards. But this is sort of a bit of a forging exercise, I suppose. Keep it all straight. Right, that's just about there. Alright, now we're going to cut it off. My little hardie, which doesn't fit very well. A bit small for that hole, so it wobbles about a lot. Right, try and line it up square, so you don't have too much fiddling about to do afterwards. And try and get it in the same hole each time, or same groove. It's not always easy. No, not quite far enough through yet. I thought it was going to break off. There you go. Done. And having done that all from one side, it started, you can't really see it from there, you can see it there, it's actually started to give you a bit of the angle on the actual blade. So now I'm going to warm it up and forge the blade from both sides to a nice point. Forging the blade, I said this in my other videos, it sort of compresses the steel back into itself and gives a nice good edge rather than just grinding an edge on. Now we're just going to square it all up again. Thought I was going to do it that time, but obviously not. Just get it warm again. Now we'll just forge it over the edge of the anvil so you don't keep hitting the anvil. And bring that down both sides to a nice point. Try and keep the point up the middle. It's not quite level at the top, so I'm just going to knock it back a bit. Tidy it up again. Might seem a lot of fiddling about, but the more you can do with the hammer, the less you've got to do with a rasp or grinder. And now I'm just going to tidy up the around the shoulder. And say you don't have to do this all with the hammer, you can just take a little bit off with a file, but obviously the more you do with the hammer, the less you've got to file. So that doesn't need much at all, just a little bit of a tidy up. Put it round straight. Now I'm just going to put the fine ledge on and the flat disc. Square the top up. Into each side. Doesn't take a lot. So if you've done a fair bit with a hammer to start with. That's about it. So we can get this to focus. No. No. There we go. And you can see fairly nice blade right up the centre. And this is what I've made it for, the rail track anvil. Now I know one or two of you've got one of these, so this would be quite handy for you. You see it's not quite sitting down square, but if you really want to get it to sit right down, you could get your grinder on it and touch up the shoulders. But it's still fairly stable, and I think it would work as it is. Thanks for watching.